Hello YouTube, Fuzzfinger here and welcome to our first look at Bridge Constuctor Portal, a game which did take me by surprise when I saw it appear on Steam, but having dabbled in Bridge Constuctor in the past, finding it fun and loving the Portal series, I thought we had to give this a go.
And welcome back to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center.
Yes, Glados is back and back with the same voice actress and humour from the Portal series.
According to internal provisions, all applicants must complete this test series for testing series tests. Before we start, however, please note that serious injuries may occur. The Enrichment Center is proud to announce that your family will be notified in the event of a work fatality with no additional garnishment to your wages. Your first task is to build a bridge so that a test vehicle can reach the test chamber exit. First, we need to remove the useless assembly left by your predecessor, and we don't mean their family.
I've no idea who wrote the dialogue for this game, but the Portal humour is absolutely spot on, and it's great to see it executed so wonderfully by Glados, as we would, come to hope and expect. So the general concept for Bridge Constuctor Portal, if you've never played a Bridge Constuctor game, is to build a series of platforms and then stabilise them so that vehicles can cross safely. At its core, it is a puzzle game, and an addictive one at that.
Excellent. Your ability to destroy without question is quite impressive. Next, we will supplant a new construction using Aperture Science convertible scaffold planks.
So fortunately there is a tutorial to get us started. A couple of things that doesn't get mentioned is that you can move around the level using the WASD or the arrow keys and zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. So you're going to be making use of all of that movement as the levels get a little bit more complicated and we need to just be able to see a little bit more of what's going on. Also, these dashed lines you can see which are instructing us where to put structure will not be present on every level. This is just part of the tutorial, just so we can actually get a feel for the controls and, lead us into the game a little bit more gently. Tutorial doesn't even take very long, probably about 5-10 minutes, if that. One of the things that I didn't notice when I played Bridge Constuctor previously is having to change the scaffolding into actual drivable roads, plus some of the controls on how you delete or adjust the points are a little bit different as well.
For the test vehicle to drive on. Fortunately, each Aperture Science convertible scaffold plank can be converted into a roadway and vice versa at any time.
In other words, what you have to do is once you've built your scaffolding, click on the sections you want to convert into road. And it's as simple as that really, just left click on them and they will turn into road. I'm just going to go and do that here. Just like that.
Very good. Let a test vehicle run over your bridge to test it.
And once you're happy that everything's set up, hit the drive button, and so long as your bridge is stable, the vehicle should make it across without the occupant having to plunge to their death. Obviously, if the bridge isn't stable, that's what's going to happen. Now, once that has occurred and you've successfully passed the test, this new option known as Convoy will pop up, and this is where the bridge is going to be stress tested even more. And I hit the wrong button there. You want to hit the Convoy button. You don't have to do this, this is kind of optional. But some bridges have a more obvious solution which will get a vehicle across, but it won't allow the convoy across. On those cases, you are going to have to think outside the box in order to have a successful test run. But basically, if you play Bridge Constuctor, the convoy is the same as having the truck or the lorry go across instead of the car. So it puts that extra weight onto the bridge and makes sure that you've done a pretty good job at your structural engineering setup. Since this is Portal, things are going to get a little bit wacky, and that starts already on level 2.
Welcome to Test Chamber 2. To overcome obstacles, you will often need to construct your bridge uphill or downhill. This roadway leads uphill, but is not suitable for vehicles. However, instead of destroying these components, we will modify their location.
So before we get into the fun part of the level, we are just going to go through the tutorial on pivot points. And all you need to do is hold down one of your pivots with the left mouse button, and then you can move that pivot and the pieces it's connecting to into the correct location.
Very good. Now build the supports underneath.
And again, these dash lines are just temporary for as far as the tutorial is concerned.
Excellent. The first bridge is ready. Now we will construct a vehicle ramp for hurdling to the exit.
Since this is a Portal theme game, we do have to have that kind of wacky, speed, physics-based interactivity. And in Bridge Constuctor Portal, what this is going to involve, at least in this instance, is building a ramp where a vehicle at speed is going to be able to fly across over to the exit. Oh, at this point we do get this little brief mention of the menu, and this is where we can go ahead and save our current work, or load it if things go wrong and we want to go back to an earlier point or whatever. But let's see what happens here, shall we? Now we've hit drive. And as long as the bridge, the structure, doesn't move a lot when the vehicle's going across, there it goes, then you can be fairly confident in hitting the convoy button immediately. And hopefully you'll be able to get all 6 vehicles, or whatever number it is that you need on the level, to safety. Oh man, that is just so fun to watch. I should point out, I can't remember off the top of my head who the developers are, but it's not the developers of Portal. So it's just licensed, as far as I'm aware, to use the Portal assets for the game. But it is still done so well. So here we are on level 3. At this point, we'll go ahead and click start.
Please observe this test chamber layout and note that it is impossible for the vehicle to reach its destination.
Yes, indeed. It looks like there's a ceiling in the way, quite frankly. Could make things difficult. Let's see what Glados has to say for herself.
For this task, the test chamber will be enhanced with an aperture science quantum tunnel, or more commonly called a portal. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1. Any vehicle that enters one side of the portal will instantly exit from the other side at the same speed. Your rapid progress has demonstrated that even the simplest employees can doodle a bridge, while our expert drivers handle the complex physics of navigating through portals.
Indeed, it wouldn't be a Portal game if we didn't have portals in some form or another, and of course we do, so we are introduced to them at this point. They will move us around the levels.
Testing procedure requires that this test will not allow supporting the bridge from below. However, we can use the construction attachment points above to suspend the bridge with aperture science multi-purpose super cables. Multi-purpose super cables consist of tightly rolled shower curtains and can be stretched over long distances.
In other words, these are your suspension ropes. But I do like the way they're called shower curtains by GLaDOS there. So we'll just go ahead and attach them as we would the other pieces.
Now send the vehicle through the portal. Don't worry, these intra-dimensional gates have been proven completely safe for custodial staff.
Right, so this looks like it could be very painful. But hey, the green drive button is flashing, so let's go ahead and hit that now. And see what happens to this poor individual as they race through the orange portal here. Yeah, they drown to death.
Please note, to protect valuable testing apparatus, vehicle drivers are not permitted to make contact with the deadly fluid on the chamber floor. Your employee photo will be provided in the vehicle driver's cause of death form in the event of your failure.
So before completing this level, we're going to have to sort out what's going on up above here. Unfortunately, we have 4 pivot points, 2 on the ceiling, 2 on the floor here next to the green goo. So we'll go ahead and build our bridge first of all, and then we'll just go and connect it all using the orange cables, or sorry, the purple cables, or whatever these kind of cables are, the suspension cables. And don't forget to turn your scaffolding into a road as well. And it probably would help just do it symmetrically like this. Okay, and we'll see if we have any luck here. So this time, hopefully the test subject will be able to live for another day. Probably at least until the next test chamber anyway, but I'm sure it's all going to go horrendously wrong again in good old Portal style. And we'll do the convoy while we're here. I only need to do 3 this time. But hopefully this is giving you a good impression of what the game is about. Obviously very, very similar to the original Bridge Constructor, but that portal theme makes things a heck of a lot more interesting in my opinion. So let's do one more level, shall we? And then we'll call it a day for today. So this is level 4, and things are starting to look a little bit more complicated here.
Multiple pairs of portals can exist at the same time. One of them is leading to a deadly laser field. It appears red to discourage casual contact. I am registering an increased heart rate and galvanic skin response, obviously due to the fact that you are not able to tell which portal will lead the vehicles into the lethal deadlock. To compensate for your lack of clairvoyant abilities, we will alter the portal's spectral radiance. From now on, interlinked portals will always have matching colors.
So as you can see, we get multiple colours of portals just to help us out with our pathing. So it looks like what we're going to want to do is head into the light blue portal at the bottom, first of all, from our entrance. That will take us to the light blue portal at the top, and then we can race down to the red portal at the bottom left of the screen, which will bring us out here, hopefully at good speed, so we can fly across to the exit. At least it sounds good in theory. Let's put it into practice and actually see if it even works. So we'll go ahead and build our first bridge here. And we'll just do that by connecting it up from the entrance to the light blue portal and then turning the scaffolding into our road. We must forget, or must not forget, it's all going wrong. We must not forget our suspension cables, otherwise it'll all be unstable and collapse even before any of the vehicles even hits the road. So, could possibly do with a little bit of crossover here, maybe. Just to make sure things are stable. And then we'll do something similar up at the top. We'll go from the light blue to the red. We don't need to worry about the other connecting points from the yellow and purple ones, since we'll end up in the lasers if we do try and do something like that, and that wouldn't be a pretty sight. Just bridgeify everything. I don't know if that's a term, bridgeify, but I've made it up, so I'm going to use it. Right, with that bridgeified, we're going to go ahead and use our suspension cables in the same way that we have on the floor underneath us. Go for a little bit of crossover again, just for that extra strength and stability. There we go. Right, let's go ahead and just make our bridges here before hitting drive and seeing if this is going to function. And one's come a little bit loose, but it looks like we're still working. Okay. Should I straighten that up? No, we're just going to hit convoy since it didn't look too wobbly. Oh, yeah, I must have just misclicked when I placed that one. Didn't need it anyway. And look at that, just powering across to the end. And the convoy's complete for level 4. Alright then folks, well that's probably a good introduction to the game, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I think there's 60 levels in total, and they do get challenging as far as I can tell, so be prepared to really be taxing your mind. But hopefully you've enjoyed this little bit of an introduction. Let me know what you think of Bridge Constuctor Portal in the comment section. I'll also leave a link to it, the Steam link that is, in the description if you want to go and pick this up. It's $7.99 in English UK money, so you can probably work that out for your own currency if need be as well. But that's it for me for today, guys, so have a great Christmas if I don't see you before, and I'll see you in the new year.